I'm Insomniac, and today we're looking at Ethiopia Natural from the Roasterie. So a huge spoiler alert ahead of time, because I'm going to tell you a little, not necessarily a story, but an actual anecdote here about this coffee, and that's kind of going to tell you everything you need to know without even watching this review. But there are some surprising aromas and flavors in this coffee, so I would suggest watching the review. But basically, I have drank literally pounds of this already. In fact, over there off camera, I have two giant 2-pound bags of this. I've been drinking this coffee since I've heard of the Roasterie, because my girlfriend actually decided to order some different coffees from the Roasterie because they sounded interesting. This was one of the ones we tried, and we both have liked it so much that we're literally ordering it in 2-pound whole bean bags at this point.
Addicted to coffee.
So, yeah, I hate to spoil the review for you, but it's that good. In fact, now this is going to sound terrible, I was not going to review this coffee.
What?
Basically because I don't want it to be sold out. Not saying that I'm so popular that I'm going to sell out this coffee. Not what I mean, but I don't want the word to eventually get around so much that they run out of this coffee, so I kind of was like, yeah, you know what, I'm not going to review it. But then John, the awesome guy who sent in this bag to review and has sent in all of the other stuff from the Roasterie, said, hey, why don't you review that Ethiopia Natural from the Roasterie? And I was like, okay.
Damn it.
So the bag is like every other bag from the Roasterie, except the label is obviously different. It gives you information about this coffee, which I'm sure I will have in the info screen in the beginning. And let's take a look at the beans. See if it's easier to show it to you in a glass as opposed to me holding out my palm like I always do and dropping it all over the floor. Okay, so this is a light roast coffee, and it says on the front, strong notes of blueberry with dried apricot undertones. Right there, when I read that originally on the website before I even got a bag, I was like,
Yeah, right.
Then it says smooth and velvety with a round finish, aromatics of fresh fruit. And the first thing I noticed when I opened the first bag of this that I ever got was blueberry.
Like a blueberry.
Is the main aroma. And not the main aroma like it's one of the main aromas. No, you open this bag and it smells like blueberries. Then you get a mix of like a milk chocolatey cocoa and that kind of apricot thing that they're talking about as a flavor, of course, not necessarily an aroma. But you do get something that kind of smells like that. And dates. It smells like dates, the fruit.
Sure.
So yeah, a lot of fruity aromas come out of this bag. And even the beans are delicious. I mean, seriously, I can just sit here and eat the beans out of the bag. I don't even need to brew it up. I mean, I have to because it's a coffee review, so pretty sure you guys are expecting that. But, man. Okay, I am going to brew this up at the French press, and then I will tell you what it smells and tastes like in liquid form. And like I said, I already cheated with this one because I've had it 1,000 times, so it's not going to be first impressions. This is a coffee I have had, but let's brew it up and give you guys a taste. Okay, we brewed up some of this single origin Ethiopia Natural from the Roasterie with the French press. And the first aroma, blueberry.
What a surprise.
Except this time, instead of it literally being just fresh blueberries and that's like the main aroma like it was out of the bag, now it's a really nice mix of blueberry and dark chocolate. Kind of reminds me of dark chocolate covered blueberries. Then you get a little bit of a floral aroma. I'm not a botanist or a florist or any of those other ists that have to do with flowers, so I don't know what kind of floral, but definitely a nice kind of powdery flower-like aroma. And a little bit of a honey roasted nutty type of sweetness. It's not nearly as big as the other aromas, so if you want me to narrow it down to a nut, no.
How rude.
But a really nice mix of aromas. Okay, let's take a sip. And yep, I think you already guessed what I was gonna say, and it is the truth. The first thing that they list here as a flavor on the bag that I thought was gonna be total BS, blueberry. That is the main flavor of this coffee. But here's the main reason why I'm so impressed with this coffee. I've reviewed quite a few coffees where you get a lot of kind of fruity notes or maybe even some kind of surprising notes similar to blueberry. Something that's just very not your ordinary earthy, chocolatey, nutty type coffee. And a lot of those are kind of thin and watery and sometimes even remind me more of tea than coffee. I know that sounds weird, but it doesn't really have much like coffee essence to it. This tastes like coffee, what you imagine when you imagine coffee as a flavor, with a ton of blueberry. You definitely get the apricot thing. You have a ton of natural sweetness. It's kind of like a natural fruity sucrose type of sweetness. It's not an artificial type sweetness, but it's very naturally sweet. And yes, for the few of you who don't know, everything I review is black. I'm pretty sure you figured that out though, because you didn't see me put anything in the coffee. But just the way it is, very sweet. Then you have an earthy, chocolatey finish that kind of rounds everything out. It's about a medium finish, so it doesn't last well into the next sip, but it definitely has some thickness and some boldness to it that sticks around on the palate for a little while. Speaking of thickness and boldness, this coffee is surprisingly big and bold and flavorful for a light roast coffee that has such what sounds like delicate flavors. It's also incredibly smooth. And keep in mind that I have made this coffee with the French press, the AeroPress, and even the drip maker when I'm feeling extraordinarily lazy. And for those of you who think that's sacrilegious, watch my video called 3 Tips for Better Drip Coffee. You will see that still might not be the right way, but I have a few tricks as to how I make coffee with the drip maker to make sure that it's at least decent. This coffee has been phenomenal no matter what way I make it. No matter what method I use, this coffee comes out like this. Beautiful, big, bold, smooth, well-balanced, well-rounded. I mean, I can't say enough about it. And the flavors are so unique. Now, if you hate blueberry, which is a main aroma and flavor out of this coffee, then obviously it's not something you're going to enjoy. But if you want a mix of fruity, earthy, and chocolatey, you want a ton of boldness with no bitterness, no huge lingering aftertaste, something super balanced, a lot of sweetness, a coffee that's so good that you're never going to ever put anything in this. You're not going to put creamer or sugar in this. At least you better not. Then this is it. Yeah, so this is, I think, the first time on this channel ever that I'm going to do this. But on a scale from 1 to 10 Mike Tysons, this gets an easy 10. And just in the interest of full disclosure, the Roasterie has never even said hello to me, despite the fact that I have posted a bunch of positive reviews on their roasts so far. They probably won't acknowledge this one either, which is fine with me. The only reason I'm bringing this up is to let you know that I would never tell you that a coffee is that good because I'm going to get something out of it, even if I was going to get something out of it. But in this particular case, I have no connection to this company whatsoever. I don't think they even know that I exist. But the point is, the coffee's amazing. This is currently my favorite coffee, so I can answer that question too for people who ask me on a regular basis. I'm not saying this will be the best coffee forever, but in the last handful of months that we've been buying pounds of this, this is one of the best coffees overall that I have had. So the first perfect score on should I drink this, and well deserved. If you have had this coffee, leave comments down below, let everybody else know what you think of it. If you haven't had this coffee, I'd get to the Roasterie site and get some, but save some for me, please. Anyway, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I have another 6 coffees over there and more on the way, so there are a lot of new coffee reviews coming soon. If you know anybody who likes coffee, share this channel, please. And that's it. I'm gonna get back to enjoying this, and I will see you all at the next review.